Haha! Stairs! Dark and steep and slippery. Huh. I'd better take a jump. After all, I hate to... fall on my butt. That would be too embarrassing.
Manatacle. It's a Hebrew word as far as I know. Dunno. I never do any research actually. No, sir. Celebrity game designers make stuff up as they go. Manatacle, however, means something like impending doom. And here we are, in the Hotel Manatacle, nested beneath the Organon Railway. It's another one with ancient concept art done by Micha. Really beautiful. And I also could leave it almost intact while doing the layout for the screen. After that, he revised my layout that was based on his drawing again, but I don't want to keep talking about that, since doom is obviously imminent, yet we neither heard nor saw it up to now. Let me say this, though, there are a lot of bad omens indicating a possible apocalypse, and Rufus just ignores them as usual. Maybe you can see them. The hotel's receptionist is in fact one of my favorite characters. He's just such a slacker and brutally honest. Hotel Manatacle is in a disastrous condition and he just doesn't care. Very fun guy to write. And despite the fact that he's just a nameless support character, seriously, that guy is listed as receptionist. He has the most lines of text among all support characters in Goodbye Deponia. Thinking about it, that's a bit awkward. But as I said, he's a fun guy to write. And that's of course also due to the fact that you have to come back to this room multiple times. This is, after all, where our comedy of errors will start. You can really look forward to that. All kinds of crazy mix-ups and confusions will take place right here in this room. What else? Right. My sincere apologies that the bell on the counter drawn by Micha looks like a butt. I didn't greenlight that, and when he showed the drawing to me, I just couldn't say no as I was laughing so hard.
My circuits are scrambled. I shouldn't get up so fast.
Or get a little exercise.
Whoa! Don't creep up on me like that!
Creep? I rang the bell.
Phew! I thought it was my tinnitus. It wouldn't surprise me, though, with all that noise from the cruiser route, not to mention the cold draft or the mold. But I digress. Welcome to the Hotel Manatacle. Would you like to rent a room?
Actually, I was just looking for my friends.
A geriatric garden gnome, a girly giraffe, and a circus bear in a hat?
That's them.
Yeah, they just checked in. They didn't look like they could afford a lawyer, so I gave them room 5. But don't worry. As long as they don't touch any light switches, electrical sockets, or load-bearing architecture, they should survive the night, provided they stay in their room after midnight, of course. Which reminds me, do you happen to have unfinished business with demons, dark gods, or the recently dead?
Not that I know of.
Super! That's all right then. You have no idea how squeamish some insurance companies can be when it comes to supernatural causes of death. Here's your key. Please have a pleasant stay here at Hotel Manatacle.
Thank you, my good man. Are you insinuating that this place is haunted?
Not at all. We're safe here in reception. It's the rooms I'd worry about, especially room 13.
Why? What's wrong with room 13?
Let's just say it was a mistake to bury the Indians there. Oh yeah, and an apocalyptic cult has occupied the laundry. So if you need clean bedding, you should make sure you don't carry any religious insignia or virgins with you.
How will I find my room?
Oh, probably horrible. I wouldn't want to spend the night in there.
Oh, why do I bother? Mini Tekel. That's a strange name for a hotel.
You think so? It's Menetekel. I've always thought the name was cute. It means something like impending doom.
That's what I mean. Who wants to live with impending doom?
Don't we all do that?
Right, but if you have a choice.
But you don't. Or have you seen another hotel around here?
Strange location for a hotel, right under the Organon cruiser route.
You think so? Our surveys have shown that this is the ideal location for customers in our target group.
Ugh. People without a sense of smell?
People who are so desperate that they'll accept anything.
Them. Haven't you heard the rumor that Deponia is going to be blown up?
Of course! That's why popcorn is sold out everywhere.
Well, it's all true. But I'm the one who's going to prevent it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I thought I would wind up having to do that.
What?
For one thing, I was forced to clean the toilet this week.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
Got me. Of course I didn't clean the toilet. That'll be the day.
Hello? I'm talking about the greatest catastrophe of all time.
Ah, so you've already seen our toilet.
I'm going to my room.
Yeah, do that. I won't stop you. And before you ask, that does not constitute an act of negligent bodily harm. We've had that checked.
This is, of course, the gorgeous and tidy restaurant of Hotel Menetekel. We had to let the gears in our head grind pretty heavily to work around a certain problem. In a dirty, dusty, run-down place like this, where would we hide an important clickable object that was supposed to be, dust? Eventually, we came up with the idea to put the dust, something that is everywhere in that place, into the coffee maker. So when Rufus decides to get a cup of coffee, he also gets some dust into his inventory. Otherwise, you could put that stuff basically everywhere. Speaking of which, I've read a lot of comments posted on Let's Play videos in the forums, and some reviews on Rufus hacking cough when he gets the dust from the coffee maker. Tell us, Rufus, is there any need to worry about you?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I always like it if people worry about me, especially if that worry is tied into generous donations. But here, of course, encouragement is important. There are people sending their kids to university so they can make something out of their lives, or they take them to the gym every day so they stay fit and healthy, or they take healthy nourishment. I already talked about my father and his den, his hobby room, and for the most part, I let that transcend into my job, and I utilize that cough that I got from the dust, and I kept it as a result of careful parental care. I hope that's clear.
Excellent. And another thing that comes to my mind when I look at this room is the magnitude of different reactions we wrote for Deponia. In many cases, there's a text for each single object, and rarely you get to notice the desperation of the author so obviously as with the object of the nut. If you just entered the room, stop listening right now. It is boop, stop listening, boop, hidden under that picture. That's why it's not hanging straight.
Let's see if there's anything left in here. There actually was something left in there. Dust. I don't think much of modern art, but this is good. It's drawn from the perspective of a person who unsuspectingly opens the urn of his dear departed mother and then dies of a heart attack because of the spring-loaded flowers popping out at him. What a pity it's hanging so crooked. Aha! Here we have the perpetrator. A nut. Who needs tools when he has hands like vice grips? Pretty slippery, my vice grips. Hey, what's going on here?
Hum hum kumbaya.
Okay. Hello, you, you friendly hooded people who clearly belong to a non-violent organization. Are you standing in line for the washing machine?
Hum hum kumbaya.
Dooba 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 dabba dooba bow, baby.
Shh. You wouldn't mind if I if I go first, right? Okay. Act weird once for sure, no problem, pal.
Hum hum kumbaya.
Cool. Then if I could just
Hum hum kumbano.
Darn.
Home, home, kumbaya. Finally, a screen where I can tell you something of importance, and that something is, of course, me, since I'm the laundry check guy to the far right, in the original version, that is. You probably can't tell, especially because you play the translated version with English voiceovers, but under those hoods are only Dedelic people. Yeah, that doesn't mean we joined a sect. We just take our jobs pretty damn serious. To the left is Gunnar Bergman, famous lead animator of the Deponia team and Harvey's New Eyes, respectively, hood model and voice actor. His voice is one our German audience often hears, but I think I've already mentioned that earlier. Among others, he was the McThulu clerk in part 2. And in the middle, to his right, we have Ben under another hood. Ben is one of our localization specialists, basically takes care of things regarding voice acting, translation and such. That means he spends his time looking at Excel sheets I prepared, and those documents are enormous, and has to hand them to translators, proofread translations, send the translated documents to other translators and check those again afterward. And to speed things up, he accompanied us during recording this time as a stenographer, so he could type down any changes in the script right away. Retrospectively, I really need to apologize to him. I'm sorry, Ben. I should have warned him that Monty, the Rufus from Germany, is a huge friend of ad-lib voice acting and likes to order one or the other sentence. To an extent that, let me put it this way, he takes it as a personal defeat if he has to read a sentence exactly the way I wrote it down previously. To his own ears, that means a horrible failure on his part. The least he can do is swap or change two words, or replace one word with one with a similar meaning, or add some shenanigans to the end of the sentence that weren't in the original. During recording of the first Deponia, I was really defiant against this attitude. I wanted him to stick as exactly as possible to the script, but I eventually gave up on that. It was just too much work. I'm the one to the far right, but there's some other hooded figure. Damn it, who was that? We can't look that up right now, can we? Yeah, well, it's in the game now anyway.
That's pretty huge, considering there isn't a single bit of clean laundry in the entire hotel.
Occupied.
Are you ever coming out of there?
Don't rush me. I'm suffering from severe temporal diarrhea.
Temporal diarrhea?
Yes, I'm a time traveler.
You mean you come from the future?
Nonsense. Oh, hold on. There is no future. I came from the past to watch the end of the world.
Here we go again. Then you're in the wrong place. I'm the guy who's gonna prevent the end of the world.
Oh! That would be very nice of you. I'm stuck here, you know.
Why? Is your time machine clogged?
Not exactly. There's no more toilet paper.
Hey, that was irony. Naturally, I don't believe a word you've said.
Well, it wasn't exactly the whole truth.
Ha! I knew it!
There's one roll of toilet paper left, but it's as rough as sandpaper. Oh, and I had the chili during the Toxican Civil War.
Yeah, who doesn't love the classic Benny Hill episodes? Another common occurrence in the comedy of error is the hallway with as many doors as possible. I always wanted to make a minigame out of that. Something where the characters are supposed to rush all over the place, chasing each other from one door to the next. Maybe, just maybe, my dream came true and you get to enjoy a scene like that in this very room later on. Hopefully. Anyway, when I was prototyping this, I had to check if that would work at all. I played it with the Fatboy Slim remix of Body Moving, the Beastie Boys track. Instant hilarity. The characters were really badly drawn, they couldn't even walk yet, especially Donna, since it was a model from before Chaos and Deponia, a time when we didn't even know what Donna would look like. Oh, now I spoiled things ahead for you. Well, whatever. What's more important is that the Donna I drew was particularly ugly. I had no idea how I wanted her to look like yet, and I didn't have a clue what part she would exactly play, apart from the fact that she was in charge of the unorganized crime syndicate. She was supposed to be the moronic leader of an underground organization, so I thought I would slap a red leather costume on her that was way too big for her. You know, this kind of costume with a corresponding neckline for maximum cleavage. Thing was, the one I drew was ugly as hell, additionally to the fact that she was a moron, and to the fact that she had no cleavage to show at all. So the polymer shells strategically placed on her hot and sinister underground leader armor remained completely empty, and it looked like she was sitting in some kind of bathtub. Basically a cool sketch, elegant in its stupidity, and then have all that running across your hallway to Body Movin'. Body movin', hey, body movin', body movin', body movin'. I bought that album, by the way, just for that song, and I was incredibly disappointed when I realized that they only had the pretty stale plain version on it. The silly beats of the remix are what I liked best. Very sad day.